as the money printing slows down, that's when you have the crash, where we adjust from all of the, problems that they created by printing all this money. So that's kind of what the taper is about, is basically they've been printing money for the last few years. They increased our monetary base by 4.5 times. It's really just unprecedented money printing. And they've bought all these mortgage-backed securities to prop up the banks and to prop up the housing industry. And they're buying all these treasury securities to prop up the government because they're spending, deficits every single year. And what it comes down to is if they stop printing money or slow down printing money or slow down the buying of these things, the housing market's going to collapse. The student loan bubble is going to collapse. The treasury debt bubble is going to collapse, which it already is beginning to. So they've kind of put themselves in a corner. But from the very beginning, they said they had an exit strategy and that they could just, bail out all these banks and then work it out later. But what we're seeing is that there really is no later. They just have to keep printing and printing and printing.
Yes, Lehman Brothers filed for bankruptcy, and sure, Merrill Lynch was sold for pennies on the dollar, and granted, insurance giant AIG is teetering on the brink, and the Dow plunged 500 points.
I think the system basically is sound. I truly do.
Now determining most prudent move for insurance company. Bailout. Most prudent move is a bailout. Bail out the insurance company.
A sincere congratulations to everybody out there who pays taxes in the United States. We just bought an insurance company! Congratulations!
I had to make the decision to use your money to bail them out.
Well, the United States is in a recession. It's going to be the worst recession we've had in a long time, perhaps since the Second World War, because the federal government keeps making mistakes. The central bank makes mistakes. The Treasury makes mistakes. Everybody keeps making mistakes.
So, well, then you get the argument, well, this is not a stimulus bill, this is a spending bill. What do you think a stimulus is? That's the whole point. No, seriously. That's the point.
We got into our mess by spending too much money, running up too much debt, and printing too much money. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're printing money and running up debt.
So you don't see any light between you and what Mr. Bernanke is doing?
I think he's doing an excellent job.
The fiscal policy has been unprecedented. The monetary policy has been unprecedented. And yet, we've had the slowest recovery on record since World War II.
And it took them 4 years, but they now have reflated the bubble to an even greater degree, the financial bubble, I mean, than it was in the fall of 2008.
How about on Wall Street? How about stocks and bonds and art and Ferraris and farmland? Assets are up. The asset holding portion of the community thinks it's great, right? You think it's great. It is not great.
It's great.
The Fed can change how things look. It can't change what things are.
So the trick is to find the appropriate moment when to begin to unwind this policy. And that's what we're going to do.
When the Fed surprises everybody and does more QE, and people realize the box that we're in, that it's QE infinity, that there is no exit strategy, that exit is impossible, that it's ever larger doses of this monetary heroin, the bottom is going to drop out of the dollar.
I hope they don't lose confidence in their government. I can see why there's skepticism, but it's the only government we got.
Whoa.